How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I'm going to be explaining swing type and why certain players have different swings, how many different types of swings are there, and why certain players play above or below their attributes based on community feedback. So let's get right into it. And I'm going to link a couple of videos in the comment section down below, some videos that I feel are my best informational videos where I talk about some of this stuff and I try and simplify some of the game mechanics. And you can test anything that I'm about to say in this video simply by using a created player, because you want to take out as many variables as possible. So you want to use, different attributes, same attributes, but you want to keep these tendencies balanced, because this is going to affect the timing windows for certain players. It doesn't necessarily affect their swing, and I'll explain that. I'll get back to that a little bit later. But it does affect their timing windows, and certain attributes affect timing windows as well, like contact and vision. So I'll link a couple videos where I explain in depth a few things in that regard. I just wanted to focus this video specifically on swing types and why certain players have a fast swing, why certain players have a slow swing, or why certain people feel that way about certain guys, because all of this is personal preference. You can really take any player swing and make it good with the created player, with this batting stance creator, and I'm going to show you why there are endless amounts of combinations that you can go with based off of 3 different things, as well as some of these features in the batting stance creator. So let's go ahead and get right into this. Let's explain why certain players have better swings than other people. Pretty much everybody agrees that Ketel Marte has one of the best swings in the game. Ketel Marte is a great player, and a lot of it has to do with mainly 3 things: the stride animation, the swing type animation, and kind of how the player starts both of those things, right? They have a set, batting stance, right, that goes along with their stride and their swing type. All 3 of those things are going to affect how fast their swing feels and ultimately determine whether or not you like the player's swing or not, right? Sometimes people like a certain player's swing and other people do not like that exact swing. And sometimes they like that same type of swing on a different player. And that has a lot to do with the stride animation and the way they start that. And I want to explain this in depth, right? So take a look at the different types of combinations you can come up with for a stride. You can take a defaulted player stride, and I'm going to explain that in a second. You can use these 3, different styles, right? You have a defaulted player from a batting stance. Then you have style 1, you have style 2. So there's 3 different strides right there, but the defaulted stride is slightly different depending on the batting stance you select, right? If that makes sense, you can select 3 different combinations there. Then you can select 7 different swing type combinations, because one of them is a defaulted swing type animation, which is the same as one of the other 7 swing type animations, if that makes sense. So really there are 7 combinations of swing type, 3 combinations of stride, and pretty much an endless amount of combinations of batting stances, which also affects the defaulted stride. So I'm trying to explain everything in depth here. Now, a lot of different players have these different types of swings, right? This swing right here is my least favorite type of swing, personally. I don't like that swing with any type of stride combination in the game. Now, this swing is slightly different, and I do like this one. This is a one-handed swing, and I like this one a little bit more. It's not my personal favorite. I do like the two-handed style 1 swing a little bit more than that. I do have kind of a ranking list, and I'll go over that on a separate screenshot. This happens to be my favorite type of swing in the entire game, and this is probably my second favorite type of swing in the game. Maybe the two-handed style 1 and two-handed style 5 are kind of maybe tied for second place. It's very difficult to determine, and a lot of it has to do with the stride, right? Whether or not I like the defaulted stride on a certain player, because you can't really change anybody's stuff, right? You can't change Mike Trout's live series card swing. It is what it is. You can't change future star Justin Foskew's swing. It is my favorite type of swing, in which I'm glad you can't change it. But certain guys have good swings and certain guys have bad swings. And I wanted to break it down right here, right? Players like, for example, Trout have a unique stride animation. You're not going to find that on really anybody else unless you make it yourself. He does have this type of swing, and you can see that the stride style 2 is also a leg kick. but it's a little bit different than his defaulted leg kick, which I think plays a little bit smoother in the game. It's going to feel a little bit faster than it would with Style 2. Now, Style 2 will probably play pretty well, but I just like the defaulted player's swing. And that's something that I recommend on creative players. You want to use a natural switch hitting creative player with the same height and around the same weight as that current player or that legend player or whatever it is, because you want the same type of animations. You want the attributes to play better and the swing to feel the same, right? And that's exactly why I use Ketel Marte. Ketel Marte was my best hitter in last year's game. I used his card, and for me, his swing plays the best. I also like Alberto Mondesi. You can really test these theories with any type of swing, but I would recommend using, different attributes, high contact, low vision, and high contact, high vision. Same swing, see if it feels any different. Use somebody with a pull tendency versus a push tendency. The timing windows are going to feel different, but the swing itself is going to feel the same. And I'm going to show you some examples of that in this video. I personally, have a certain type of list here, and it would definitely go with the two-handed fast swing, which is the swing that Alberto Mondesi has. And it just so happens to be the same swing that Justin Foscue has, which is two-handed swing style 2. And that's this one right here. This is my favorite swing in the game. I do like this one. However, on a created player, I personally like using Ketel Marte. He just happened to be my best card in last year's game. That's why I'm using it. When I first started the year, I talked about Alberto Mondesi's swing. I was using it on my created player. But take a look at it. Take a look at Alberto Mondesi's and take a look at Justin Foscue. It is almost identical. Now, they're completely different cards, right? Foscue has higher contact, lower vision. He might even be a little bit taller than Alberto Mondesi. Mondesi plays almost the exact same as Foscue in the game, just has a lot more speed, right? But a lot of people like Mickey Mantle's swing, and a lot of people don't like Mickey Mantle's swing. Part of that is because he has a very similar stride to Mike Piazza. So number one, I don't like Mickey Mantle's stride, but he has one of the better two-handed swings in the game, right? He has the same type of swing as Mike Trout. The reason why it feels different is because of his stride animation. And I want to break this down. I want to talk about this using a different type of video, going back in time. And now that I've kind of broke it down a little bit, I'm going to show you some gameplay examples of exactly what I'm talking about. So let's jump into that, and then you'll hear me kind of intervene here and there. Exactly what the PCI penalty is. I want to show you slow motion clips in 1/8 of a frame. I want you to see the screenshots of point of contact. I also will include a screenshot after the point of contact for a couple of these examples. But notice how in this swing here, the dots line up with the A icon on my Arizona Diamondbacks bat. That is the sweet spot portion of the bat. The dots line up perfectly with the middle portion of the bat, exactly where you're trying to hit it. On this swing, that will not be the case. And the reason this happens is because of the drastic movement of the PCI as the ball is coming in, as I'm pressing the X button. And we're going to see it right here. The pitcher breaks his hand with the baseball from his glove. I have the PCI sitting inside, and as I move it up, I move it down at the last second. But if you notice with this screenshot, the bat does not line up in the same way that it did with the Mike Trout swing. And that is because of my user input moving the PCI as I'm pressing the X button as the pitch is coming in. You can see that the bat is way above those diamond pixels. And I am late. I'm on the later side of good on this swing. When you have the PCI penalty activated, there's a lot more randomness that takes place. I'm going to show you a different example with Cody Bellinger on a pitch in a different location where he's swinging completely left of the PCI instead of up. Now here's that clip that I'm talking about. This might have something to do with the fact that Cody Bellinger is an extreme pull hitter. I'll show you that in a second. But the PCI penalty is definitely activated. He does not have any live series quirks. But in the next clip, we're going to take a look and compare two different types of swings here. Cody Bellinger has a very similar type of swing, if not the same type of swing, and stride animation as Joe Mauer. And they have entirely different attributes. Their swing feels almost the exact same. And that's what I wanted to show you. Cody Bellinger is an extreme pull hitter, and Joe Mauer is a balanced hitter. So based off of that, they might feel slightly different in timing windows, but the swing itself feels the same. And Joe Mauer just has much higher contact, much higher vision, and right around the same power. Cody Bellinger, lower contact, lower vision, same type of swing with different tendencies. And these are just different ways that you can test some of my theories. So I wanted to kind of break it down and let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm curious, right? I wanted to slow it down. I wanted to show you a much more smooth swing, a smoother PCI placement. I'm moving the PCI to the ball pixel at a much better pace here, and I'm pressing the X button at a different point in time where I hit a perfect, right? I didn't double react like I did in the Bellinger swing. But take a look at these clips. This has to do with your swing timing. It also has to do with where you're moving the PCI from. I'm sitting inside here, I move it up, and you will see in this slow motion clip that the PCI sticks in that spot. I don't move it up and down at the last second. I call that a double reaction. And I've talked about it in my hitting tips videos. I've talked about this PCI penalty for many years, but it's very difficult to explain. It's very difficult to notice that on this swing, the PCI does not move. The barrel of the bat lines up perfectly with the dots, and we're about to see it. Another thing to keep in mind is that Cody Bellinger does not have any active live series quirks. Ronald Acuna has the dead red quirk, which is going to help the PCI stick in this location on this fastball as I'm drastically moving it towards the ball pixel and pressing the swing button at the same time. We just saw it in slow motion. Here you can see the screenshot of point of contact. In this next clip, I wanted to talk a little bit about Chase Sutley's swing because he does have a unique swing. I want to say it's that two-handed style 5 swing, but when he hits the ball, that's not a no-doubt home run. He has a one-handed finish. So that's why I'm not really sure. He almost has his own type of signature swing, right? And I just wanted to kind of show you some miscellaneous clips here towards the end. And I also wanted to get into a stub tip. Before I do that, though, this is the swing that I was kind of talking about earlier in the video. Bryson Stott has that one-handed swing style 4, and it's a little bit better than one-handed swing style 3. But it's just personal preference. I encourage you to test these theories because while your best player might be Mike Piazza or Nolan Arenado or players that I don't necessarily like their swing, those might be your best guys, and you might be able to get the timing down much easier with those types of cards, right? And that definitely happens. That's what I mean by personal preference. When I build my team, I definitely take into consideration the different types of swings that I'm using. Sometimes I like to pair up very similar swings back to back in the lineup because I feel like it helps me, and I feel like that's an underrated tip. I wanted to include this stub tip because I am investing heavily in these home run derby cards, and this is exactly why, right? In years past, we've had home run derby / all-star collections where we've been able to unlock some really good cards. I have a feeling they're going to release this on the 18th, like it mentions on the updated schedule. But until next time, that is a breakdown of swing types in MLB The Show 22. Peace out.